Fantastic that you guys took the time to stop by the off-season studio. How are you guys doing?
We're well. Thanks for inviting us. It's a pleasure to be here, G. And yeah, man, it's been busy times for us. Obviously, season's just finished in Aarschot, but yeah, looking forward to some R&R. But I think the boys are just getting started with their national team responsibilities in the pre-selection. So doing well. Thanks, man. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, let's start off with the news fresh off the press. The Hodge boys are coming to America.
It was a hard decision to make, for sure, for me, I think, because me and my dad had some discussions about it in the beginning, if it's a good decision, if it's a right decision. But I think I'm happy with my decision now, so it's all good.
And joining too is Jayden, going to America?
Yes, for me first, I never really thought I was going. But then when I moved to America for 2 weeks, it really changed a lot, and my mind, and I thought it was really fun, so I really made my decision.
So it was a decision pretty much made in 2 weeks for you, Jayden, and Matthew took a little bit.
For me, it took longer. Yes, about a month, because we had some other options here in Belgium. So it was a really hard decision, but I think it was the right one for sure now at my age.
Yeah, the fun thing is, you're not gonna live in some kind of dorm room. You'll be able to live with basically family, I think.
Yeah, they're family for us, so that's not going to be a problem.
What is it going to look like for you guys, basketball-wise, in America? Are you going to play in high school or college or?
Yes, we both going to play in high school together.
It's with Brian's.
It's Brian's high school team, so I can play still 2 years, my junior year and my senior year, and he gets 4 years, so he starts as a freshman. And between those, the high school season, we got the AAU tournaments. That's something different with a different coach and different system where we play into. So you got fall ball and you got spring ball.
And I think the difference with that, G, is they get a chance to get the exposure that I feel like is lacking here. Other than the national team and the situation with the national team. First, you have to make it. Secondly, you have to do well to get exposed. And I think now having that opportunity to play high school basketball, play AAU circuit where all the college coaches is out scouting and recruiting, this is a great platform for the boys to reach their ultimate goal, and that's to go to a university. Matt within 2 years and Jayden within 4 years. And if you're good enough, they're going to find you. And I think the high school situation with Brian is just a steady outlet that's just get them used to playing in a school system, playing high school basketball, and basically having an opportunity to achieve some goals. And I think now it was the time. And you asked the question before, what led to the decision? It was hard, man. It was just hard for everybody involved, the family, the in-laws, the grandparents, the mother. But at the end of the day, if they want to make it, this is the right move to go. And during the process, I think was very important and very important to mention. We allowed them to make the decision. There was no pushing at home. Me and Matt, we had discussions. If you want to reach this, I feel this is the way to go. But at the end of the day, you have to make the decision. You guys are born and raised here. You're from Belgium. But it's unique because you can use your American passport to achieve some things in America. So that's where we are now. And, yeah, we'll see, man. It's exciting times. It's going to be a challenge. Now they get a chance to see if they can play at that level against their own age. And Jayden is basically what he have done all his life, played against older players. And now he will fit right in, I think. He got 4 years, and Matt is pretty much on the clock. But his name is already surfing around in that New Jersey, Virginia, Baltimore, D.C. area. So now he has a chance to go play against some of them athletes. And let's see where he ends up in 2 years.
Yeah, because a couple of years ago we had the Ball brothers here. And pretty much everybody was laughing with LaMelo. I remember guys going on air and saying that LaMelo kid, he really sucks. He can't play defense. And look where he is now.
Yeah, but I think in high school and like the JBA or something, I don't know what it was. He was like relaxed and like not really playing serious, I think. And I think when he went to Australia, he made the switch. So then he knew he got a legitimate chance to be a star NBA player. So I think something happened with him and he got a click. Because in Australia, I never saw a game where he like goofed off and all those stuff. He always plays serious. And you see now in NBA, he's a star. And
Matthew, you seem to have a pretty good thing going over here, playing with Bergen, with Mons, and then playing in Aarschot at level 2. What are the biggest upsides that a move right now, instead of the exposure, pure basketball-wise, the way they think that they look at things? What do you think that the biggest upside is from this move?
I think just by individual, yourself, they just look at you. Here, I get a lot of say because I'm a tall player. I'm a position 4, sometimes a 3, but there they don't really care how tall you are, and they just let you play and they see like your position. And if you 2 meters and 5 or you 2 meters and 10 and you can handle the ball, they will put you on the point guard. They don't care over there.
I think also one of the upsides, if I can speak about that, is the ability to have access to the gym. Not only is the gym inside the school where they will be attending, with Brian being the coach, having the key, getting in the gym at 6 in the morning, getting in the gym at 10 at night, that the ability, we don't have that here. It's always a public, city-owned gym here, and I think that's one of the biggest upsides, that the opportunity to be able to get in the gym and work on your game at any given time. But, there are rules. You have to have one day off, but in that one day off, it's nothing to say you cannot go and work out or get a workout in. And also, I think the facilities to have private workouts, it's different when I came up now. To have private workouts, to have the individual fitness workout, okay, you can have that here too. But it's basically one day here, one day there, man. It's like 3 or 4 days at nonstop. And everything is within a 5-minute radius. Workout facility. It's one big campus. It's one big high school. And that high school from Brian's house is like 2-minute drive. So it's right there. You can ride a bike, or, Brian and Kim has a golf cart. So I think that would be nice. I think Matt would be driving.
I think they will be using.
I think so too. Matt, Jayden, and Jada would be going to the same school. So I think they'll be using the golf cart a lot. And one other thing is interesting. Matt has to wait till his 18th birthday to get his driver's license. Okay. Now he's eligible to get his driver's license right away in America. So at 16. That would be interesting also. But I think this experience is something they will look at this 10 years down the road and say, okay, we tried it, and whatever happens in that, plural con, at least they had the opportunity to have that. And we don't take this for granted. The boys don't take it for granted. We don't. We are in a position where, okay, Brian reached out. We had a chance to go visit. They went to school for a day, and at the end of the day, they had to make the tough decision whether they was going to stay in Belgium. And there's nothing wrong with staying in Belgium, but I feel like for their development, personally, it was the right move to make, and obviously they feel the same way.
Odell, you being a legendary college and high school player, with numbers comparable to legendary players like David Robinson, Tim Duncan, what is the biggest difference between growing up in the States as a basketball player and Belgium?
It's very simple. It's like I previously said in statement, was the access to the gym. The players live and breathe the game. And here I think it's just, let's say you have some, but the percentage is low that really breathe the game. I think some here just play out of necessity and a hobby, and there it's their life on the line. Growing up in Martinsville, Virginia, which the population is probably 50,000, 75,000 max, that's all we had, school and basketball. So we left school. We didn't have time to do homework. We left school, had something to eat real quick, and went right to the playground because we wanted to play. And then if we had time to do homework, we did homework. Okay, we had to because we had to study and achieve academics in the classroom. But I think one of the biggest differences, players in the States, they really, really care, and they're trying to survive. And the only way for someone like myself growing up that didn't have a lot of money, you had to try to make it in the classroom so you can be able to go to university on a full scholarship. And that's what we're competing for, always. And here, it's more like academics first. And I think that's the misconception of what happens in America. We have to study to be able to play. And here, it's more, You study, you go to university, and your hobbies is secondary. We had to all combine that. You know how difficult
It's all integrated.
It's all integrated. It's all integrated. We had to
And basically, basketball leads to the education.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, trying to explain that to my in-laws here, and trying to explain that to my wife and to their mother, they feel like we're making that decision strictly on basketball. Part of that is true, but part of it is they're going to have the opportunity to have an education in America.
Because it costs a lot of money if you want to go to college without having the basketball.
Absolutely. And like I was trying to say before, we couldn't afford to go to college. And
How much approximately do you think at this moment?
At this moment, 50,000 plus.
Per year?
Yeah, per
So
year.
you have to go for a loan. Most people have to go.
Yes. So they go for student loans. Mostly the students take it out themselves, and then they have a plan where they pay it back once they graduate. So they don't have to pay it back until they graduate. So mostly you see students take out $250,000 to $300,000 loans with low interest, with the idea when they graduate they have to start paying it back. So that's almost like a house, right? So it takes years. Yeah. It takes years for the student athletes, or the students in this case, to be able to pay that loan back. Yeah. Credit card, all it's the same.
Jayden, how big is the campus that you're gonna go to? Can you give us a vision of, is it gonna be 100 students there, or is it gonna be 1,000, or is it gonna be even more?
I think in Belgium you have like in a normal school, like high school, like around 1,000 people. But in America, where we're going is different. I think we have like 300.
Take 450.
450.
Yeah.
So this one is smaller, but you also have like much bigger ones. But this one is just a regular 450.
St. Rose is a private school right outside Bearmar, where Brian lives. This is correct. It's about 450 students. But
so it's not that huge?
It's not that huge, but some of the schools they would play against have 1,500, 2,000, 900. It all depends. And that's how they classify teams in America, by how many students you have. So I think in their rank is the Jersey Shore. I think it's Class A. And you have Class AA, Class AAA, Quadruple A. The higher the class is, the better recognized. So everybody has their state in their state. In New Jersey, they have their Class A, AA, AAA, Quadruple. The highest is always when you have the most students. But in this case, this is great. They're going to play some great teams, and they're going to have an explosion there. But like I said before, this is just a part of the whole plan. The most is give them a chance to get seen.
This is basically a first step.
Yes, and the AAU circuit is huge. It's like you and I starting up a team, and we're going to travel around Europe to get players exposure, to get seen, to maybe have a chance to play pro. In this case, it's organizations organizing teams.
And they travel all around America.
Yes, if they're good enough, they can play nationals. And if you're really good, you have the shoe circuit. So you have Nike, Under Armour, Adidas, and then you have the ones in between. If you're on one of them shoe circuit teams, then you know you're really good, and you know college coaches like the Carolinas and the Dukes, they're going to be there to scout you. But if they make noise and do what they're supposed to do, I don't think that would be a problem to be seen. And I don't think they're going here to just achieve just to have a chance to go to a university. They'll take what is out there, but I think
it's giving them the best chance, basically.
Giving them the best chance, and then let's just say I'll let them explain themselves. I know they have aspiration to play at really good schools, but they have to put in the work like everybody else. And them guys are trying to eat. They are trying to survive. So it's like a survival to the finish.
It's going to be a different mentality.
Absolutely. And they saw that the first day we arrived. We arrived on a Monday. Brian asked, you guys want to get a workout in? They thought it was going to be a little light workout. It turned out to be a very physical workout after being on the plane for 8 hours. But I think it showed their character, their motivation, and the mental aspect to be able to put that in against some of them players. And I just remember a play, one of them first days, where a guy tried to test Matt. He tried to dunk on him, and he chased him down and blocked it, and it just kind of set the whole mood for the rest of that day and what people perceived them to be. And I think that right there woke up some guys, and now they know that they're coming. It's opened up some doors for them, obviously, and also for Brian, which is important.
Nice. And the both of you are going to play on the same team, basically?
Yes.
And for one of the first times, they're going to play on both teams. You guys can explain that a little bit more. Jayden, playing with your older brother, I think it's a dream, no?
Yes, I have been playing with him like a couple times, maybe like 3-4 times. But now I'm really looking forward to
Practicing together and
like,
going to the gym together.
yeah, he will drive me around with the car to different places, and yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's going to be a whole other culture. But
Yeah,
of
of
course, you
course.
have the familiarity with Brian being there, so it's a huge positive upside to it. We'll talk a little bit about the Aarschot Academy, Odell, that you're obviously involved with. And I noticed a couple of things in these last years. First of all, it's great players are recruited over there. And then the second thing, we have some school tournaments, inter-school tournaments. And the first thing you notice when players come in is that they wear their sweaters from Aarschot with pride. And that's the first thing they want you to see before they even start playing. Leuven is very close. They have a first division team. So what's the secret to pull good players into such a nearby place as Aarschot?
Well, I think you know me for a long time. You know how passionate I am about this game, and you know I can be hard at times, but you know I try to be fair and I try to be as honest as possible, which I feel, and it's not taking a shot at some clubs and some teams, but I feel some clubs and teams just try to explain or try to tell what they want players to hear, and not always the truth. And if that's taking a shot at the club, then leave it like it is. That's not my intentions. It's just what I've heard from players that we have recruited. I just try to give them an outlet. We are a small family club that is trying to survive like everyone else. We have already had some young, decent talent when I inherit the job of manager in the academy. And what I try to do is go recruit players, one, that I feel that can play with us on the third division level, two, that can boost our youth with the U21, and so forth. So I think since I've been there, since 2019, we have had 25 new players that came all over Belgium, and even far where
they came from the coastal area. I talked to one player.
You talking about?
So he
Louis?
drives past Ostend, goes past Leuven, goes past all these teams, and then.
Remember now, this is by train. So he's leaving school from Bruges.
He's not even in Aarschot in school.
No, he's in Bruges, taking the train 2 times a week plus game. Okay, his family brings him to the games and back. You know, that's tough, man. That is really tough. But now he's also, this player that we're talking about, he's also leaving, going to TMG Academy, Prep Academy in Orange County, California. So something that we're doing is working, but it's also a collective group that try to put the kids first. Always try to put the kids first. And obviously, when I bring in guys like Max Yu and Jayden, which for me, transportation and geographically was the right thing to do, players will follow because they believe in their game.
They see things growing.
Yes, and they're not selfish players. I think anyone that's been around Matt and Jayden knows they're a team guy first, and all the players like to be around that. And now we recruited these guys, and they're leaving, and a few is leaving also. But I think our academy is in a great place because now we have other kids coming they want to be a part of because they see what we've done, and we have gave our young guys the opportunity. And a lot of teams is trying to do it, but they don't really have that extra push to just let them make mistakes. Since then, we was in second longer with our B team. We went down to first provincial for the last 2 years. Now we are back, so we have a third division, second longer, first provincial, second provincial, third provincial with our senior teams. I will not have a U21 this year because we have so many teams now. We just make our C team. Yeah, so we'll make our C team like a U21. We just put all our youth there and develop them. U18, U16, U14 at the highest level. We have some great players from the lower baskets coming up. So we're in a good place, but we stay humble and continue to try to work. And I don't take shots at Leuven. I know it's hard to recruit players from there, but sometimes them players ask for themselves to come. And I don't know what's going on over there because I'm not busy with it, but it's interesting how players in Vlaams-Brabant respond to recruitment. Or it's not like I'm trying to take every player. Actually, I don't really try to recruit at all. But when they reach out to us, we don't say no. Now I'm in a situation where I just finished adding some coaches because we was overflow with teams, and we was lack of coaches. I'm almost finished, but that tells how many players for our for Team B. Just for example, going into next season, we have 25 players for the B team, a U14, 25. So I'm trying to think now, is it necessary to have 2 teams? In principle, yes. But I have to make sure these kids are going to show up in September. But right now, we have 25, 12 new players that signed, 16 new girls. We're going to have a M14 team for the first time in 3 years because last year we didn't have one. 16 new girls. We have 16 M16 girls, but okay, it's lower level, but they come and they're so happy, and it's a good group. So I want to make sure that we keep these girls motivated, and I'm trying to how you say it, discriminate against the girls or against the guys. I'm going to coach the P1 ladies team. First time I'm going to coach ladies because they was definitely.
That's going to be a challenge.
It's going to be a real challenge. I know.
Not basketball-wise.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. Especially with me as coach in a way that I can get on players at time. And I explained it to them, and they still wanted me. And I said, okay, let's see in 6 months if you still want me as your coach. But that's a challenge for both, I think. But I wanted to show them that commitment, that I'm not too big or too low, that I cannot coach you guys. So I want to see what we can achieve together. It's going to be hard, but it's going to be fun. It's not like I don't have time on my hand now. My boys is leaving, so I have a little extra time to do that and a little bit of flexibility. So when we need to go visit, I'm free to go.
The national team guys, Jayden and Matthew. What's the deal going to be? The deal starting up now, or?
I'm going for the U16 national team, but I'm only U15, so I'm 1 year early. But we start in the 25th of May, and I'm looking forward to it. I think I have a big chance, but it's still gonna be a hard challenge. But I always played against these guys all my life, so I know how they play, and I know I got a big chance, so I'm going for it.
Yeah, and you have to get in line for a tournament, or is there going to be a tournament this year, this off season?
It's going to be 2 tournaments, I think. I don't know if you know it completely. You know the dates of the tournaments? You know what you have? I don't think you know, huh? I know they're going to have 2 pre-selection tournaments, one in north of Italy towards the end of July or the middle of July, and one in Finland first week in August. And then if he's selected, they have their national team tournament, their European Championships in Bulgaria, Sofia. Okay. Yeah, I think so.
So a lot of basketball coming up now. Yeah. And you, Matthew, you're also...
Yes, I'm with under 18, and we go to Romania, I think, where we start 29 of July till the 10th of August. But also now, in 2 days, Wednesday, we start with our pre-selection with, I think, around 38 guys, and all of them got a chance to make it. So first, I need to get in that 12 spot, and then I'm set for the national team, and I should be a dominant player in that tournament, but that's up to me. But that should be also a good way to get exposure. Not in the States yet, but get it now. So when I get in the States, they already know something about me. So that's important.
What a big upset last night in the NBA.
What upset we talking about, G? Which one we talking about, buddy?
I think Big O had got it all the way. He knew it all the way.
Well, it depends on what you're talking about. I picked Boston, and I think we went against each other on this one. They picked Milwaukee. I'm so proud of Boston because Lakers is out, so I had to root against our worst rivalry. And I picked Dallas in 7 from the beginning. I just thought Luka was is something else, man.
You said Phoenix. You said Phoenix.
No,
yesterday.
I never. No,
you said Phoenix in 7.
Dallas. I was always with Dallas.
How can you be a Boston fan if you're a Lakers fan? That's not possible.
It's not possible.
Well, Lakers didn't make the playoffs, so I have to root for someone. So I
so
best
why
go
would you?
against the rivalry.
No.
Yes. And I've always been a Larry Bird fan. Why you think I wear number 33? Why you think you guys wear number 33? It's because of me. And I was always a Larry Bird fan, never a Boston Celtics fan. And I'm still not. I'm just rooting for them in the playoffs because I love the way they play defense and they get after it. So let's see what happens against Miami. It's going to be a hell of a series with Miami, and I look for Boston to play Dallas in the finals.
But Milwaukee looked so strong and athletic. I never thought that Boston would, even after game one, it looked like it.
Also, Middleton being injured for the whole series, that's a huge part of it. And still need 7 games to beat the Bucks without their second All-Star player.
Milwaukee's defending champs. There's nothing wrong going 7 games.
That's 23 till 25 points per game you missed from All-Star.
Okay.
On your team.
That's the next guy step up, and
that's what they did, and they still needed 7 games to win.
It don't matter. At the end of the day, it's advance and survive, right? Survive and advance. And look, they're gone. Milwaukee will be going fishing now, and
they'll be back next year.
It's unbelievable how things get upset in the NBA. I think those teams are going to win it all. It looks like they're set, and now even like Phoenix. Who thought that Phoenix?
No one would expect. Well, I expect them to lose, but not like this. They was losing at one point by 46 last night, and I was laughing because you woke up Luka, and this is the thing. Like they got on his nerve, and they started to talk. Which as when we was playing and things like that, if you start to talk, like I was a big trash talker too when I went from first division down to lower division, and someone asked me, said, why are you doing this? You already had your career. Why are you doing this to guys that's just trying to have fun? And I said, well, if I'm going to talk, I better start backing it up because you don't want to be looking like a fool.
So you basically motivate yourself.
Yes. I try to motivate and try to have a reason to motivate myself because I don't want it to come back on me. So I think the mistake that Jay Crowder, which we always call him a world beater and like overrated player between the three of us, because when he was with Cleveland, he was not making these shots, and now all of a sudden he just makes shots all the time. But he's talking. He's trying to be a fake tough guy, we call it. And then Booker. Hey, you're 2 feet on the ground. You're just now starting to have success with your team because Chris Paul is there to help lead that team. And you starting to talk against Luka. Oh, my God, he's just, all right. And you saw in game 5 when they lost in Phoenix, Luka's like, oh, when you up, you're talking. I said, watch out. If it gets to game 7, watch out, and you see what happens.
I saw a clip when he was coming out after in the half.
Yes.
Everybody's looking tough when they're up.
Yes, exactly.
And that's what they basically did and brought on themselves.
They brought that on themselves.
Yeah, it is not expected because it's a 64-win team throughout the season, and you beat that team in Game 6 by 30+, and you beat them now by 30+ in Game 7. So,
and basically, in my mind, I don't know. I know it's not true, but Dallas is only Luka.
Yeah.
In my mind, but of course they have other guys.
They got a good defensive team, and I think we all need to give Jason Kidd his credits because he was still assistant coach from the Lakers last year, and what he have achieved now with that Dallas team after trading Porzingis mid-season, we need to give him his credits. So.
No, I agree. Knowing Jason and being from the same class of 1992 high school year, to see what he have done as a player. Now he got criticized as a coach, but he found the right team, and let's see if they can have success. One or two things going to happen: either Jason Kidd, first-year coach from Dallas, is going to win a championship, or Boston's coach. I can't pronounce his name, so I won't even try. Or he's going to win, and that's not discrediting Miami or Golden State. But I just feel that these two teams are destined to meet in the finals, and best team wins.
You think that Golden State is not going to win it all? It's not favorite.
They are favored. They are favored.
I saw them play against a couple of nights ago. Yeah. They kept making their shots. Yes. I mean, of course, with Morant out, but down the line, they got some killers, man.
Right, and the thing is now, I don't know who can guard Luka from their team. They're going to try Wiggins. Draymond's going to try to bully, big boy him and be tough guy. But he got too much moves. He's too crafty. No, he's not. And then you're going to put Wiggins on him. He's too skinny. The best player I think have a chance to guard him, but he's a rookie, is Kuminga. Kuminga. Sorry, thanks for correcting me. I tell you, I'm not good at pronouncing words, but I have my translator and my corrector here. It's always correcting me with my words. No, but let's see, man. It's going to be a fun series, and it's going to be a lot of threes jacked up in this game. I think the first team to 140 every night is going to win.
Nah, not like that, because I think Dallas, they just got dogs on their team. They got 10 men that just play defense 40 minutes, 48 minutes long. So they will keep Curry, try to keep Curry out of the game. It's hard, but like all those star powers with Jordan Poole playing good and Klay Thompson getting back in rhythm, the dogs of the Mavs will try to keep them out of the game. And so that's why I think they got a chance.
Who's your favorite player, Jayden?
My favorite player?
Don't look at me.
Now, for sure, LeBron James. Always have been my favorite player. I still think Michael Jordan is the GOAT, but now I love the way he plays. He's just, his mentality, his winning ability, like.
He has practically no flaws at this point in his career, right?
And especially being 38 years old, man. It's pretty impressive.
But Chris
man.
Paul, the same thing.
Same thing.
But I think LeBron looks even stronger.
Yeah, absolutely. He does things the right way. When you spend over $1 million on your body, you have to do it the right way, man, and play at a high level. Now you see players who's doing the same thing. Klay Thompson's also spending over $1 million on his body since the injury now. So you see a lot of players is adapting to this way. And you see LeBron, he was on vacation 2 weeks ago in Greece. Now he's back working out, 5 a.m. in the gym. Like these things right here, man.
There's no secrets, huh?
No secrets, absolutely.
Of course, they have the God-given ability, but they put the work in, huh?
Yes.
And that's why they can go so long. Huh?
Absolutely.
And even with nutrition now, being more known with science and stuff.
Absolutely.
They're even to go. But do you think that Phoenix has another chance at it?
They will come back and they'll be good in the regular season, and unless they change a few like details with their personnel, it'll be the same story. But don't count out the Lakers next year to get it right.
Who are they going to bring in? Russell is going out, or?
Well, I don't know. I think one or two things are going to happen. This might sound crazy, but I know LeBron is safe. But don't be surprised he's traded. That he might ask for it himself. Don't be surprised if something crazy happened between Lakers and Golden State. All right, let's think about that. Remember we said this here first, right? The other big thing is, are they really trying to bring in Zach LaVine from Chicago in free agency? If that might happen, it might be a signing trade between him and AD. Look at these things, because AD is hurt. They say LeBron, he said he don't have a lot of say, but we all know he has a lot of say. If some of these things happen, that means he voiced his voice, right? So if they come back and they make a couple of tweaks and get a few dogs in that team, some young guys, they'll be right there. You can never count out Golden State. Of course you can't count out Phoenix. They were just in the finals last year. But it's amazing that both teams that played in the finals last year got put out in Game 7s at the same time. But I look for the Lakers to come back. Brooklyn, if they can find it in their way to get over some of these on-court struggles, and if Ben Simmons shows up, you got to put them as a favorite too. If they can play with all three, you have to be honest about that. But I like this part of the season because now it's so unpredictable. Everyone's like at the beginning of the year it was going to be Brooklyn. They had all their issues. Lakers was going to be there. They had issues. Didn't even make the playoffs. And now it's fun because it's crazy. The Final Four in the NBA is unbelievable.
It's really unpredictable this year.
This year but that's the fun part because for years we always knew Eastern Conference, LeBron was going to be there. For 10 years in a row.
Golden State is going to be there too.
It's going to be there. So now it's fun, and it's actually fun to watch.
Practically no blowouts, huh?
Exactly.
It's all 4-3, and it's all 7 games.
Absolutely. Something else I wanted to point out, G, about these boys going to high school next year is, I think it's an interesting point. The 40 minutes. It's no 40 minutes next year. It's 32 minutes.
32 minutes.
4 times 8 minutes, high school clock. Think about that. They played 40 minutes all their life since they've been playing U12 and up.
It's always been like that over there.
Always been like that
in the state of New Jersey.
No, in Virginia, everywhere. It's always 8-minute quarters.
And the shot clock?
And no shot clock in the state of New Jersey.
No shot clock?
No shot clock.
I don't like that.
No,
Yeah, I hate that, man.
So you go up 2-0 and then you start...
yeah, just playing ISO ball. But also the 3-point line is shorter. The 3-point line, man, gee.
It's like we were used to and when we were younger.
Yeah.
G would be like you'll shoot 55-60% from that line now. Can you imagine, buddy?
I can go too.
Yeah, you can go also.
Second career.
Yeah, absolutely. And no, I just wanted to point that out because these boys are used to playing fast with the 24-second clock, and then even in college, it's 30 seconds. It's even slower. But now to go to no shot clock. It's going to be interesting to see how they make adjustments. But Brian likes to play fast in a way that don't bother him.
He does his own thing.
Yes. And then some other teams, they always try to play small ball. Sometimes you see the score, and I watch the score, it's 59-42 or something. But it's because teams are stalling and doing all these things. So
they're not really worried about their players. They just want to win the game.
Absolutely. And I told the boys with the 17 fouls now, it's 5. It's now in high school, it's 7, but it's 1-1. So you go to the line.
Yeah. Like they did in college too.
Yes, like they do in college, and then at the 10th,
1+1,
1+1, and then you have the two shots after 10 team fouls. So it's some interesting points, but I think they're ready. I just wanted to bring that up because I forgot to mention it earlier.
Yeah,
yes,
that's
absolutely,
very interesting.
Yes, absolutely.
But of course, being a good basketball player, you have to have a good shot. Or what is the biggest? I know it's in America. It's very athletic, of course. But everybody's shooting nowadays.
Yeah, for sure. The basketball game of now, where you see like guys like Curry and them and what everybody's looking up to. So the 3-point shot got even higher. So even now, if you're in the States, you're athletic and you dunk on everybody. But when you come in college, you don't see that no more. And you don't see, it's no way you can just like go up on players and dunk every single time. You need to have a shot where you can like switch it off, so defenders like, oh shit, what I need to do right now.
Oh, we're in Europe. You're going to have to get used to not saying that in the States, though. I think he can edit that out, maybe.
What is the biggest working point, Jayden, for your game at this point?
For sure. I think my skills-wise, I'm okay, but for sure physical. I still need to work on my physical. Because in America, my first practice is like sometimes I got bullied like in the paint. Because
but they're a lot older too, huh?
Yeah, okay, but just my physicality needs to.
Well, skill-wise, I think we do a good job, G. And I mean,
in Europe,
I think skill fundamentals, we do a very good job. I think what we're lacking in Europe after being back, after, let's say, 24 years, being back and watching high school players up close in person, we don't do a good job as a whole, as such, of the physicality and teaching guys how to play. Limburg United youth is probably the closest I've seen, and maybe the Wallonie teams. It's close because we went to watch on Saturday the national quarterfinals, the tournament, yes, in Mechelen. And I think the Wallonie teams in Limburg plays with their youth as close as to what we've seen while we was in the States for 2 weeks. Just the physicality, just pressing, being up, but good basketball at the same time, and players just know how to play. He played a game the last day we was there, or next to the last day we was there, against maybe players on his team that was younger than him, but the other players was more or less his age. And he was able, skill-wise, to do what he want, but he didn't play a lot because it wasn't his team. It was just he was filling in for a player. But we saw in them, because it was playing 2 times 15 minutes, running clock, because it was an AAU situation. And we saw, okay, skill-wise, he was one of the better players there, if not the best player there. But physicality, he was one of the weakest players there. And I sent a message to the school, and it's like, man, we have to do better in the future just with our physicality. And it don't have to always be weights. It don't have to always be there. It can be always core and things that we can be strong on in certain parts of our body. But that's something that we're missing as whole. And we don't spend, even us in our academy, we don't spend enough time. But I'm trying to change that to help these kids out, because sometimes you can see kids that just sticks and bones.
In Antwerp, especially, you see different type of players.
Yeah, but they have a weight room in their facility too, and you see it helps, because even players from the U16 from Antwerp, they all ripped. So most of them guys go to school, but it's also when he was there, when they both was there, they had 45 minutes of weights after or before practice, and that made a difference also. But it's, I think it's from club to club here. But we should have, it's something that I've said to
a room in the gym.
A room in the gym. But we also should have like a round table with some former athlete players like yourself, me, or Westfaller, and some guys around here to maybe just come up with ideas. You guys are doing it a little bit too in the off season, but it's not enough of that. Like you guys are doing it here in Limburg. We're not doing it in Vlaams-Brabant. I don't hear Leuven. Them guys not doing it either. Maybe with their own team, maybe with the second team. But you don't see youth players busy with it. And some ask for it. Some say, "Yeah, I took a pass for a year to try it," but we need to be able to assist and help them.
Because with our days from Limburg United, that Jan is very big on it.
Yes.
And it's not only building muscles; it's also the movement and stuff that have to be. So it's not that easy that taking a basic fit pass.
Exactly.
It's not gonna get you there.
No. On the other side of that, in hindsight, it maybe hurts you too, because a lot of players now, they're not educated, so they go in there and say, "Oh, I'm lifting and I'm pumping."
And it's not helping.
No.
It's getting you injured.
Yes.
It's making you stiffer.
Janu from our team, and I call him out because I really care about that guy, and I mention his name in public. It's one of our players, our youth players, a lot of potential, a big upside, but he's really ripped and strong physically, but he's injured now from shin splints and leg problems. And I don't know if it has something to do with it. We don't know. I'm just using that as an example. But I've seen players like that have struggled with their.
They get heavier, and
Yes.
their running technique.
Yes.
They don't land that soft anymore,
Right.
and
Yes.
it puts too much pressure
Absolutely.
on.
Absolutely.
I've seen that a lot, because in our day when the NBA, you got guys like Larry Johnson with big arms, but every time they landed, it put pressure on their back, and
Yep.
they got injured.
Absolutely.
And now you see the athletes in the NBA, they're much slimmer, they're quicker,
Yep.
like Zach LaVine,
Yes.
Devin Booker.
Yes.
It's a totally different
Sure.
concept
Yeah.
of how they. So things evolve very quickly at
Absolutely.
that point.
Absolutely.
In the States, you practice at night with your team. But in the States, is it also going to be like that? Or how much are you going to practice? Or what's the difference in practice regime?
To be honest, I don't really know.
I think it changes. For Brian, I think he said something like 6 to 8 or 6:30.
In the morning?
No, that 6 in the morning is optional. It's probably just for them and Jada and maybe somebody else that wants to get in and get to work, maybe his nephew. But I think their even practice would be at 6 at night. They would probably stay at school or come home, do some homework, and then they have their practice from 6 to 8 or 6:30 to 8:30. But it's crazy because a lot of let's say teams are practicing and they are fighting times with like the volleyball team and girls basketball, so everybody has to work their schedule. But the interesting part for these guys is they're used to playing in the day. Matt now with the seniors have played night and evens, but their games now is going to be 1:30 in the night for us. So it's 7:30 East Coast time in the States. It's going to be live streamed, so I'll always put a link out. But it's going to be a big difference for these guys playing in the even time. Then getting home around 10 and then have to be back to school the next day.
Not for me. I'm used to it.
Yeah. And then, but you're not used to playing. You're not used to playing 2 nights, maybe 3 nights out of 4 or 5 days, though.
No, but
Is it going to be a lot of traveling already? Or is it going to be close by?
the high school games is close by. It's not. It's in the region.
It's in the region or in the cities or around their area. It's a district, so it's around. Let's say
It's like Limburg, or is it like Flanders?
It's like Limburg for their high school games, and then maybe a couple because it's a state of so Limburg is a state, right? So it's like going to St. Trudon or going to Breeze. So it's a 45-minute bus ride, maybe, or a 30-minute bus ride. But I think the interesting part was going to be where we put them at and where Brian ends up putting them at with the AAU. So they can be on the team in Philadelphia, or they can be in the team where they're living at around the area of Brian, or they can be in a team next to my hometown in Virginia with D.C. or Maryland, because I have my connections also. But we'll see, because going to D.C. or Maryland, it'll be a commute. So we have to make sure we trust how will they get there, because that's
by
like
plane.
By plane or by car. It's only a 2.5-hour drive. But I'm not really a fan of trains. So it might be a car service that will drive them there, because I have my guys in the area too, because I grew up with some of them guys. So staying with them there for a weekend is not a problem. But they need practice time. So maybe for the first year, we'll see where they end up. Maybe somewhere close to Brian, because I don't want to overwhelm him and Kim, because they have their family too, and they're taking in our boys, which is a huge thank you, and we really appreciate it. But it's a huge sacrifice for them too, because now they're taking in 2 guys. And I asked, and the boys asked, and Sophie asked, "You sure this is doable, and you guys want to do it?" Because Jada's also busy with AAU.
How is she doing? Because we did some skill development workouts, but
G, you would not recognize her from just think about the skill workout you did with her before they left. Man, she's a beast, man. She's Kim on the tennis court, but a basketball player. She's unbelievable. I think we watched all of her practice or watch her work out with the boys, and we went to see her play work out with her AAU team. Yeah, man. She's
going to be something.
She's going to be something special, because we saw that the Lizards, the M14 and M16, M14 lost in the finals. I have connections and friends. My girls from the club, and then Orly Van Aarschot is one of our closest friends with the family. So we follow them from far. And we just said, can you imagine if Jada was on that team? Then they have no problem. That extra player with that physicality. That Jada now, because when she left here,
that's the biggest difference, at the physicality. She plays at another pace.
Look, we was there, and we was on their schedule. We was on vacation, and the boys wanted to see the school, but we was on their schedule. So we pretty much did everything they did. I had access to their cars, so we was going places on our own too after we was there for a few days. But Jada, man, she would work out in the morning at 6. She would go to school to 2:30. She'll come back. She'll get another workout in, and then she'll go to the fitness. It was unbelievable. And then on top of that, if they wanted to get another workout in the evening, she'll come back to that workout too. So sometimes Jada was working out 3-4 times a day, and then getting up the next morning or the next morning after at 6 o'clock in the morning. Dad, I want to get a workout in.
So a huge mentality change.
But that's the thing. We're here. We can do it. But they're not used to that. So they're busy with their school in Antwerp, 24 hours a week practicing. Then they come to the club, Jayden one time, Matt twice, also putting in the moans. So that's the closest opportunity that you would get. But watching what she did, oh my God, I couldn't imagine kids over here or players over here even thinking about doing that. Okay, again, it's a culture difference. When you compare American to, let's just say, Belgium, we can't compare it, because it's just what you believe in.
These kids, they adapt to it, and they just do it.
They just do it because they're trying to survive. Her goal is she wants to be in a Power 5 college also. So, I think she has dreams just like the boys have dreams, but she's putting in the work to do that. And we see them now. We see the boys now. I would love to see them in a year from now. Yeah, or 2 years. Well, a year from now, just from what they have learned and what they've seen, because we don't have a crystal ball. But can you imagine? Yes, in 2 years from now. The big difference, because they have been there 2 years, Brian and Kim. And the difference I see in Jada, she would never got that. She would never got that here. Okay, she would have, but not at that mentality, because we can only go. Can you imagine pushing a level 3 team or level 4 team, with all due respect? Can you imagine pressing them guys or putting pressure on them? They won't be able to get the ball over half court. And is that the right way? Because we don't teach that. It's interesting, man. Very interesting, but it's just what it is.
And Brian's job, he's only doing the basketball program, or is he working at the school or teaching?
Oh, he's just a coach of the school for that team, and then he has his AAU team, and he has his skill and development. Brian Lynch basketball, where he was starting here, he just continued in New Jersey, so he's quite busy. He's doing well for himself. He has his basketball camps that he runs in the summertime. which good. No, he's very happy. I was answering this question the other day. They are very, very content, and I know for them it was the right move to move back, and even for Kim, she's enjoying it, enjoying the privacy and the ability to be able to just be normal, and I think that was one of the biggest aspects of moving for her. I see her, she's free, and she goes walk every day, and she gets her exercise in. No one bothers her. We was walking in New York City one day. No, man. And I think for her, that's just a stress relief, and my boys will be in good hands. Pretty sure of that, and they get along great with the kids. Also, we have made jokes about that too. So they're going to be a live babysitter too for the two boys, and the boys look up to them, and they're playing basketball too. So that can be a win-win for them also.
Last question, and we get it on tape. Who's going to win the final? Because I saw Matthew. A little bit saying, Dad, you did mention another thing a couple of weeks ago concerning the Phoenix Suns situation. But now we're going to put it on tape, so nobody gets to lie about it.
The finals is going to be, first of all, Warriors against Miami, and Warriors going to win in 6.
Okay.
And who's going to win the MVP?
Curry.
All right. You go with the safe bet. Go ahead, Matt.
I got how much I want the Mavs to beat the Warriors. I got Warriors in 6 or in 7. I got Boston. And how much I hate to say it, but I got Boston winning it all.
It's a breed of his old man. Sometimes, man, it wears off, G. He understands what I try to say. I've been saying it from day one. Since the playoffs started, when I really realized that Lakers was out. And next time you talk to Brian, he will co-sign this and he will back me up. Because I told him the whole trip, I had Boston at the beginning. I'm going to stick with my pick. Boston will beat Miami in 6 games. Dallas will beat Golden State in 7. I have Boston over Dallas in 5.
No way.
That's my NBA pick. Boston is good, man. Their defense
and
is
Tatum is
tremendous.
going to be the MVP.
And Tatum will win the MVP.
He's the
rising
Miami.
star. He's the rising star, man. He's a superstar in the making. If not already a superstar, he's so good. And that team, man, when they get, he's so good. But you know who else could be MVP of that finals? It's Marcus Smart.
I knew you was gonna say that.
He's a dog, man.
Yeah, he's a dog.
He's a dog, and he gets under your skin. They can call him the flop king of the world all they want, but man, he's good, man. He's the heart and soul of that basketball club team. Marcus Smart, you have to give him credit. So I like it. I like when we go against each other, but I'm surprised of Matt's pick. But he's thinking with his head now. He's thinking with his head. He's a very smart guy.
They're the best defending team in the league, so
We can argue and debate, G. But then
I see a lot of agreement on a lot of topics between the three of you, but some not all.
no.
Let's see how it goes. But really, thank you very much for stopping by. I really enjoyed.
First of all, man, it's great to be in your presence again and be in your company. It's been a long time that we have seen each other, and to be able to just talk basketball and talk sports and just be able to do this with my boys. Again, it's a dream come true, man. It seems like we're doing a lot of things together lately. We've been in the press quite a bit the last 10 days, but it's all positive. It's all about the boys, and from this point, man, I've always tried to be in the background of any success. And again, it's one of the great reasons that we are happy to let them achieve this, and we'll stay back and give them that opportunity. And they know I'm a flight away to join them and to help them in any way. But it's their time to experience this, and it's best for me to stay in the background unless something happens where I need to be present. But you won't see me in front row here and front row there. You always see me in the background wherever I'm in the presence of the boys. Now I might talk and complain, but that's just the love of the game. Nothing about putting myself in front of them.
I think it's a great story unfolding, and one can only imagine how far you guys are gonna be able to take it. Thinking of the Ball brothers, that would be pretty awesome, man.
Yeah.
Being an all-star in 5 years.
Absolutely, absolutely, and both of them. I think Jayden has a picture with the family. Matt wasn't with us at the time when they was here at the hotel. LeVar was at our house, man. He was at our house the day before. The day of Lakers against New Orleans, and we was the first one that knew that Kanye was coming that day because they let it out, and then. At the third quarter, we didn't know if he was really going to show up because he wasn't there late. He showed up late. So everybody's like, everyone that I told, I didn't tell many, said, yeah, but you lied. You said Kanye was coming. I said, well, apparently he's going to be here in 10 minutes.
You didn't say when he was coming.
Yeah, I didn't say when. He was coming, and he showed up. And, hey, Hotel, man, a little small city and small...
hard to find for somebody like that.
So we put them down at the little entrance in the back, and they said, "Oh, you guys really have a VIP?" I said, "Man, it's just the back of our gym, man. It's no VIP. We in hotel in Belgium, man. Like they wanted to fly into Kiwi. Can you imagine?" I said,
They took out the map and they saw, there's the landing space.
Yeah. So I said, I don't think you will be able to land in Kiwi. So they ended up flying in Brussels, and they stopped at on the E14 is a gas station there. They stopped there, and they told me Kanye bought almost everything in the store, all the junk food and everything. So it's a great story behind that, man.
It's crazy. Hey, thanks a lot, and maybe next year we can sit again together and talk about how it went.